Shalom from Jerusalem. My name is Albert Wexler, and I'm the director of the Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast. We are here at the Friends of Zion Museum with answers for our allies. Together with me is a legend, Matan Kahana.
I am not a legend.
You
Stop
are.
it.
In my eyes, you are.
I'm not a legend and not a hero.
Well, a fighter pilot. Not just a fighter pilot, somebody who was the combat fighter at Sayeret Matkal, and then it was not enough for you, and then you went to the pilot course, and you became a F-16 squadron commander, did 30 years in the army. In my eyes, a legend.
I'm not a legend. I'm only trying to do the best for the security of Israel.
Well, and I think you are succeeding, and I believe that you have a huge role in the future. Now, there is something
This is for God to decide.
Well, and we will see the decision. But this is interesting because today we have a possible hostage deal coming through. Is it possible?
You know, we are trying to speak the less we can about this deal because we know that if we speak too much about it, maybe it won't happen. And the Hamas, the terrible monsters from the Hamas, is trying to do everything to let us to make us feel bad. And so the less we speak about it, the more chance it will happen. But if we will have the chance to do a deal, we will have to do it.
Absolutely. I think they are masters in psychological war. I mean, just a few days ago, there was a short clip that they showed as if there's going to be 2 people released. Islamic Jihad was just playing on our nerves.
Well, I didn't see it. I'm trying not to see what they are sending to the Israeli population. And as you said, they are very good in psychological war, and the best thing for us in Israel is not watching what they are sending.
So it seems like the best is to put pressure on them. The Israeli army now entered the Shifa hospital this night.
Military pressure, more and more pressure on them. We have to kill each one of them, and that's what we're trying to do. The army is in the Shifa hospital, and as we know, and the United States also published that the intelligence of United States know that their headquarters is under the Shifa hospital, and they are hiding their ammunition, and all the heads, not all, some of the heads of the terrorists are there, or was there. So now our soldiers are in the hospital, and we are fighting them.
It's a dangerous war because underground tunnels.
We have the terror tunnels, and you know, all the money that Qatar money and other countries' money,
European
that
Union,
they send there, they invest all of it in the terror tunnels and buying ammunition, and instead of investing in schools, kindergartens, and hospitals, they invested all the world money in terror.
But now they really want to win time. I don't think they care about releasing the hostages, really. I mean, talking about women, children. But again, they are just to get a ceasefire to gain time. Do you think so?
You know, the paradox is that it's their they want a humanitarian disaster in Gaza.
They expect it.
They expect, they want it. It's helping them because they don't care about their population. They don't care about their civilians. They told it publicly. One of their spokesmen said that they are trying to keep only the terrorists, and they call it warriors and fighters, but that's what they are doing. And they said that Israel should take care about the population in Gaza, Israel and the United Nations. And it's...
No, they are hiding. They, of course, secure in their tunnels. They think so. But I guess Israel has some surprises for them. Can you elaborate?
Of course, if it's a surprise, we will not be able to speak about it here.
That would be fun to speak about the surprise, and then it happens, you know?
But we are ready to this war, and we will fight them in their tunnels, in their hiding places, we will find them and we will kill them because we don't have any other choice. Because it's a do or die war. We didn't want this war. They started it in the 7th of October in a terrible massacre. And all the world know what they did to us. They raped our women. They burned alive our children. And they kidnapped old people, babies. They are holding a 10 months baby in the tunnels. So we don't have any other choice. We should fight until we will win.
And of course, for them, this is what I think, this is their only guarantee to stay alive, these hostages. So they will not let them go for some kind of a deal. Do you think so?
I assume that they will try to do some, not one deal. Okay, so in the first deal they will give us back 50 or 30 or 80, and they will hold other hostages for the future. But as I said before, we should speak the less we can about future deals and continue with the war. Continue to fight with them.
Now, for them, it looks like oil is very critical. They demanded a lot of oil.
You know what the problem is? That, as I told you before, they don't care about their population. So they are crying that they need oil to the hospitals. But if we will give them oil, it won't go to the hospitals. They will take to their tunnels. Mm-hmm. So they want a humanitarian disaster in Gaza. They want it. Okay, the terrorists from the Hamas want this kind of crisis.
They want to see these pictures.
They want these pictures. And if we will give them oil, it won't go to the babies in the hospitals. It goes to the terrorists in the tunnels. So this is the problem.
Do you think Israeli government will have the resolve to say no to ceasefire?
I believe that if we will have a true possibility to deal for the hostages, we will have to do it, okay? We let down the people in the southern area of Israel once in the 7th of October, and we can't do it again as a country. And it will cost, okay? So, but as Benny Gantz said yesterday, ceasefire is not ending the war. And maybe we will have to do a ceasefire for several days, but it's not meaning that we will finish the war. The war will finish when we will kill all the Hamas, and the regime will not exist anymore, the Hamas regime will not exist anymore, and the hostages, all of them will be in Israel.
Now, one of the reasons I believe that they want the ceasefire, Hamas, is to allow the journalists to come in and to show the destruction, and the whole world will go against us.
I don't think that they have to. They need a ceasefire to show the world what's happening in Gaza.
It's obvious.
It's obvious, and we couldn't care. We care, but we have to fight like this because they are using their population cynically as human shields. Okay, so. We never, I'm telling you that as a former pilot and a former squadron commander, we will never aim our bombs on civilians' target, okay? We will never do it. Not like them, that they are looking for civilians. They came to our villages in the south and looked for women, children, and all the old people to slaughter them. We will never do such a thing. But nowadays, if they will hide, if terrorists will hide in a mosque or a hospital, he's not safe. And I'm telling again to all the civilians in Gaza, if you're seeing Hamas activists near you, you must know that your life is in danger because we will hit him. And we are doing everything to minimize the collateral damage, but war is war.
Well, Israel has been warning, as you said, the civilian population to leave, to evacuate towards south. Now, I think yesterday, Vatican published a picture of an elderly woman that was, they claim, I think they're getting their information from Hamas, that that Israeli snipers would have shot that elderly woman. I told them, look, Israel has been telling the people to evacuate. Hamas has been holding them at the gunpoint and shooting them. There were pictures of
Hamas is shooting Arabs population in Gaza, Arab civilians in Gaza that's trying to evacuate from the north to the south. They are stopping them. The Hamas is stopping them with guns, okay? An Israeli sniper will never shoot an old lady in Gaza. Will never do it. If she will, maybe she can get injured or something like this in the war, but we are not doing it in purpose. Not like them. They came to Israel to look for old people, women, children, and burn them alive.
Now, Matan, I want to talk to you as a father to father. Our children are in the army,
Yeah.
and you have 4 boys.
4 boys, 2 of them are serving as a fighters in the army.
2 are in the army. Now, you have been in the combat situations many times yourself. Were you ever afraid?
To be afraid is good. You know, people that don't afraid from anything, they're stupid. Okay, the whole idea is to get over the afraid and act although you are afraid. Okay, so of course everyone is afraid, but it's making you sharp.
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline, yes, everything.
Now, but as a father now, you have your 2 boys.
Yeah.
How do you feel about them?
Well, as every father who is sons are fighting now in the war, we are praying, mostly praying to God that will keep them.
Because I think this is something that is very common in Israel today.
Yeah.
We have many families that are involved either this way or other way in the war.
I think that there isn't any family in Israel that is not involved in this war. Every family has a father, son, brother, nephew that is participating in the war. And all the people in Israel are now praying to God. And it's an opportunity to ask from our allies in all the world to pray for Israel, to pray for the security of our soldiers.
Absolutely, and I mean, we had a fantastic example. Yesterday, there was about 200,000 plus people in Washington, at the Washington Mall. People were praying, people were standing with Israel. It's something very powerful. And I know that also in many parliaments, I got a message today from the South African parliament that they are saying that there is a motion they're trying to they're trying to pass a law or a decision to remove Israeli embassy from South Africa. So I'm asking you to pray also for South Africa. And it's just insane what is going on.
It's unbelievable that people are supporting the Hamas. I believe that they don't understand what they are supporting. They are supporting monsters who came to slaughter civilians while they were sleeping. Yeah. They are supporting those who came to burn people alive. They are supporting monsters who came to rape women. It's unbelievable that what they are supporting. I don't think that they know, they understand that Israel is only on the front line of this war. It's not a war against Israel. It's a war against all the Western way of life, the Judeo-Christian set of values. This is the war, and we are only on the front line, but the West is next. The West is next, and we are fighting the war of Europe. The next step of the radical Muslims is all European cities.
Well, and we have also Prime Minister of Canada telling Israel to stop the war, stop killing, as if Israel was the one initiating it, as if Israel was the one desiring it. It's so hypocritical, isn't it?
It's totally hypocritical. I don't think that in the Second World War someone asked the United States and the Soviet Union to stop fighting against the Nazis because the Nazis, the German people suffered a lot of casualties. You know, when there is evil, pure evil, you're fighting it until you destroy the evil. And sometimes you have to pay some prices for it, but the request from Israel to stop the war is hypocritical,
Absolutely. And Matan, a few thoughts about the day after. I know we don't know when this day comes, but the day after the war, what do you think? How will Israel look like? How will Gaza look like? What's going to be the...
It's a very complicated question,
yes.
but we have to think about it in many
dimensions?
Dimensions, yes, because first of all, I think the most important thing is the internal issue in Israel among us, to maintain the unity of our people, because as you know, we started this war in a very problematic situation in Israel among us.
Divisions.
Division, yes. And now we are very united together in this war, and it will be very important to maintain this unity. And I'm working on it. I'm trying to work on it. And in a matter of security, we will have to see what we are doing in Gaza Strip, because in the first hand, on one hand, we don't want to govern there, okay? We don't want to control and to be responsible for the civilian population in Gaza Strip. In the second hand, we can't afford a terrorist regime, and we can't afford a military force there who hate us and will be able to do things like the 7th of October.
And they promised to do it again. I mean, they have not regretted, they have not had any remorse.
Yeah, the problem is that the Hamas is an idea, like ISIS. ISIS, it's not a country. ISIS is not a regime. ISIS is an idea. And the Hamas is also an idea. All the radical Islam is an idea. For these people, it's more important to kill Jews and Christians than making some good life for their people. That's their education. All the system is working to make sure that they will kill Jews and not live a good life.
It's horrible to see this education system that is geared towards training these children into haters and murderers.
That's what's happening in the backyards of many cities in Europe. But they are sleeping on their nose. Okay, but they must understand it's not a fight. It's not a war against Israel. It's a war against all the Western way of life.
Now, but again, talking about the day after, let's think about these 20 or more communities that were damaged, destroyed. I think, wouldn't it be something fantastic if we would have friends, our allies, to come and help us to build them up?
Of course, it's our main goal to make sure that all these settlements and kibbutzim will flourish again, and every help that we can get from our allies will be great.
I heard yesterday that Israel lost 14 ambulances on 14. The 7th of October.
Only 14?
And we got them back. They were donated back now from the Christian Friends.
Wow.
Samaritan's Purse, Franklin Graham. There's been an effort that is made to bring
back these ambulances. Wow.
Give us the new ambulances. It's amazing to see that we have such friends.
I'm telling you, I have the privilege. I'm privileged to know our allies in all the world, mostly the evangelicals, Christians. And I know the love that they are feeling to Israel. And it's so important for us, their support, the moral support, their support with money and efforts. And it's so helpful for us, and I'm grateful for it.
And of course, you as the Knesset host of Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast, you have done so much to actually give this message, spread this message of supporting Israel and also bringing the blessing over all of these nations that we talk about.
Yes, I'm asking them again to pray for us.
And then we will have a Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast in Stockholm in April.
Take me wherever you want.
I'm happy to hear that from you, because we will. And,
No,
and then, of course,
it's so important. Really, it's so important because you know that we are suffering now in a great anti-Semitism all over the world, and our true friends know the difference between good and bad, evil and righteousness, and we are counting on them.
and of course, we want to see on May 28th and until May 30th, on the 8th Jerusalem prayer breakfast.
Wow.
We want to see them all come, and we want to invite them.
I do hope so. That would happen in
Next
May,
year.
in the end of May?
End of May.
Here
In
Jerusalem.
in Knesset, in Waldorf Astoria, as
Wow.
usual.
Wow, wow.
So let's do it.
Let's do it, Albert.
Thank you, Matan.
I'm waiting.
Thank you, Matan. So we are so thankful to you for tuning in today. We are happy that you are praying for us. So happy for the Washington Mall demonstration. It was so powerful, so encouraging to see all these speeches, all these Israeli flags. And by the way, Matan, you notice when you have a pro-Israeli march, nobody burns American flags, French flags, or British flags. But when you have a pro-Palestinian demonstrations, they burn the flags of the countries where they are.
The 7th of October was a wake-up call, not only for Israel, for all the Western world. And the fact that there are people all over the world that supporting the Palestinians' effort with the Hamas, it's totally unbelievable. It's totally unbelievable.
So we would ask you to continue. And so again, thank you so much for all of you who came to Washington. Thank all of you who were with the people of Israel in the town hall squares, in mass media, in internet, Twitter, Instagram. Whenever we see your support, it is so heartwarming. And remember, those who pray for the peace of Jerusalem will prosper. Shalom from Jerusalem.
Shalom from Jerusalem.